Welcome to another podcast. I hope that didn't clip, but we're going to talk about the Omer. We're going to talk about the counting of the Omer. We're going to talk about the Yenuka, your favorite new rabbi. You think he's the Mashiach. We'll talk about that as well. The twins that I just had, that's actually one of my other... I have 3 babies now. Anti-semitism, Jews fighting back. Let's start.
Baruch Hashem, Mazal Tov, Mazal Tov. You have,
Mazal Tov.
In less than 370 days, you have 3 babies. Baruch Hashem.
Welcome to the pod.
Okay, I know. Bezat Hashem, no, I know. Tfu, tfu, tfu.
Baruch Hashem.
Baruch Hashem, as we can hear, the tribe is growing here in the back, but it must be a whirlwind.
Maybe that's one of the reasons we don't do them so often.
Yeah, Bezat Hashem. Sorry, guys, we've been letting you down, but we'll get back. We have to take care of the most important things in life.
We're so busy populating the earth.
Baruch Hashem. So how's it, last year, Pesach time, you had your first son.
Yeah.
And Baruch Hashem, this year you made it to Pesach with 2 more. So
crazy.
Have you even had time to breathe from the first?
Yeah. Baruch Hashem, when we had Aaron Dover, it was a bit crazy. He didn't eat the first 3 weeks, by the way, which we didn't know. We were doing podcasts during that time, and I thought everything was fine. He would cry. You can hear him in the background, but I didn't know it was because he wasn't eating, because we didn't know Chai didn't have much breast milk, and we thought he was just eating from the breast. But Baruch Hashem, we found out on time, and so it was a bit hard. That was really rough. So that was scary too. But Baruch Hashem, these twins are eating. My wife has more breast milk now, and they're growing. They're looking healthy. Yeah, it's a bit easier now. I'm glad it started with 1 baby, and we had the challenge with that 1 baby, and now everything is actually much smoother.
Usually they say that's how it is. No, the first one's always you're the most paranoid, you're the most scared.
Yeah,
don't do this,
for
don't
sure.
do that,
Every
and then
5 minutes,
down.
like, is he still breathing? Is he still breathing? Now we're just like, we go out, we're like, oh, forget it, we have twins at home. So, it's different, Baruch Hashem, but it's good. I'm a bit more emunah also. We grew.
Yeah, for sure. I guess, I don't know. Yeah, it's Bezat Hashem soon, but I guess every child adds, another level of connection to Hashem and more understanding.
Definitely. Quick Hashgacha Pratit story before I move on to the next thing. How, actually with the twins, how they came. So we have this whole show, Olim, we're filming, right? This comedy show. We're done pretty much with the filming. It's like post-production. Also, maybe in a month from now we'll be out. Blineder, Bezrat Hashem. Blineder is going to be awesome. Also, Eliyahu was helping with it. And we actually, we were filming the whole time, and my wife was pregnant, and we were afraid, okay, she might give birth, and then we cannot film basically if she gives birth, because she won't be able to move much, she will not look pregnant anymore, and in the show she's pregnant. So the last episode we filmed, we did it with Karuchi. For who knows, he's a Moroccan guy, and we're doing the taxi scene with him. He's hilarious. So it was right before Pesach, and he cleaned his whole car, and his whole car was wet. The seats were wet. We were sitting on it. It was so uncomfortable because it's so wet. Luckily, my wife had a towel to sit on, so she was the most comfortable out of us. But it was very wet, and that was the last scene we filmed. And literally an hour later, my wife's water breaks, and we're again in a car, and again my wife is sitting on a towel. So that's crazy, Hashgacha Pratit. And then Baruch Hashem, we went to the hospital. I was like, okay, are you comfortable? She's like, yeah, she wants me to go back to Dovber, because he was Baruch Hashem with my dad, but he doesn't know my dad so well, and also the babysitter not so well. So I went back, and she was just in the beginning stage of the labor, and I came back and get a call an hour later. Yeah, listen, everything is fine. I'm just stage 3. It's only by stage 10 you have to come. I'll call you back soon when I know more. Half an hour later, she calls me, I'm giving birth now. Come now. I'm like, what? Now already? So I'm like, take a cab. I rush to the hospital, and the babies are coming out as I'm arriving. It's crazy. They were so smooth, so quick out. Baruch Hashem.
Baruch Hashem. It's,
now I have 3 babies.
Thank God. Maybe more and more. The Chaim Tovim Shalom. Many more. Bezat Hashem. Amen, amen, amen. Yeah, it's been a lot of shefas coming down. I feel like, it ties in Yenuka. I brought him up because you said that, I got you this little pamphlet that you read for Pesach. But
amazing.
You said that in the whole labor and everything, you were going through it a little bit. So
it was great, because we were spending half, if not whole Pesach in there, and was nothing to do, and I was reading a lot of the time. So thank you so much.
Yeah, it's spiritually
great stuff.
There's spiritual shefa coming down with for a period we after the passing of Chaim Kanievsky, it's like, so like who's left? Like who do we have? Like who's in the generation? Who are the tzaddikim? But like, really, not everybody knows about them. But there's a few tzaddikim that are doing amazing things in the world right now, and like really bringing down like a collective consciousness, like a dot of an approach to life and to Torah and to music and to everything together. And the Yanuk is part of it, and Rav Ishmael Morgenstern is part of it, and
we are part of it.
We're trying to be part
of it.
We're just
hidden in the
podcast. We like to talk about it, but we like to talk about it. But yeah, for sure, it's we're in a time of Shefa and things are coming back. Like also like just working in the galleries and working in all the tourist section of Tzfat. You start to see people coming back to Eretz Yisrael, Jews and Goyim, like just coming to visit. And for the Jews, obviously, it's much more emotional. They're used to coming every year, right? And now your dad also, you got to meet him first time.
I met him, and he loved Tzfat. Like, he was skeptical, very skeptical about Tzfat. Like most people, they don't know. They think Tzfat, whatever, right? But he came, obviously, like most people, when they come to us and they experience it with us, they don't want to leave. My dad was crying, like tears in his eyes when he was leaving. He didn't want to leave, and it seems like very soon he already wants to buy a house.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking. That's it. They're coming back. It's like after 2 years of being stuck wherever you were stuck, locked down wherever you were locked down. Like now you're able to come back and you see Eretz Yisrael and you see how life here is just like. So obviously it depends where you are, but especially here in Tzfat, people come here and they've never tasted such simplicity. That like it's so simple and so pure that it actually disturbs you. Like a lot of people, I spoke with a guy a few weeks ago, and he's like, "How do you cope with this? Like, it feels like life is too simple." And I was like, "If you only knew how much was going on in Tzfat every week, like this for bringing, this going on, that, all these different things going on, but it's just a different way of life. It's all
I get what you're saying.
Revolved around
it's
kedusha.
Like you feel less stress. Obviously, so much less stress in Tzfat. I know, maybe because I don't like have a 9-to-5 job also, but like I don't know for you, like you.
No, even with work, you're less stressed. But no, Tzfat is. Also, I went to Yerushalayim during the second Chag, like the end of Passover, and there's tons of kedusha in Yerushalayim, but the feeling is fire. It's like it's so clear. It's so clear. You're there, and it's just like wow.
It's restless.
Yeah. You go, and you're like. I went to a meal and like we ate till like 3:00 in the morning, just like deep conversation and passion and fire and going back, and like in Tzfat everything is more like like
bit more fun, relaxed, laughing.
Yeah, it's just like it's more of a vibe. It's more of like it's like
it's chilling with Torah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Torah and chill.
And there it's like Yerushalayim, it's always so deep, which is amazing too, right? But like it's funny, I used to have it that way, and now the coins have flipped. But Baruch Hashem, we're so lucky because we have so many friends, we have so many people doing such special things in Am Yisrael that when you come across, I get to meet a lot of people, and when I come across these people, I'm like always taken back of, and you can see like you can tell them how they are kind of as a person according to the rabbis that they connect with and where they're getting their dat from, where they're getting their Torah from, and then you connect to them and based off that, and you see, and not in a judgmental way, but like in a more of a key to like who is this person, does the person he connects more to Chabad, he connects more to Rav Ishmael, or he connects more to a different rabbi that I mashpia that I know in Bet Shemesh, and you find out so much more about a person. Baruch Hashem, it's been an interesting holiday season.
Yeah. So you were talking about Jerusalem. Is this what you wanted to say, or was this something else?
Jerusalem, really, the crazy thing with Jerusalem that I wanted to bring up is that last time I went to Rav Ishmael Morgenstern, I walked in there and I have a friend. I don't know if he wants me to say his name, but so I'm not going to. But I have a friend. Very fitting, fine bachelor for any of the ladies out there that are interested. For any, not any.
He matches everyone.
You could maybe send me the information and we'll see. But
he's a good guy.
Very whatever. Anyways, I messaged last time I went to Ishmael Morgenstern. I walked in there and I saw him. For me, I was already out of Shabbat. It was about 8:39, and he was still in Shabbat. And Rav Ishmael wasn't there. As usual, I go to see him and he's not there, But And then because I saw him as a friend of mine, so I went up to him and I started talking to him. What's going on? Where's the tzaddik? He just went to the mikveh. He's going to his room. He's going to come back here like an hour before chatzot. He's still in Shabbat and everything. Don't worry. He still hasn't even given his Torah yet, anything. And I don't know his schedule. I don't know what's going on. So that really helped me out. That information, like, it settled me down. I knew now what to expect. And then, like, he helped me even further to when to go up to the Rav and when to, like, try to do my chutzpah, but to get the bracha. Like, when's the best time to snatch that, that little bracha v'atzlacha, or whatever it might be. So he helped me a lot. So when I came down to Yerushalayim for Chag, I wanted to message him and I wanted to see how can I connect more to the Ziyad, because if he's connected to the tzaddik like that, I also want to spend a little bit of time with him as a friend, sure. So I messaged him, hey, can I, and like, what are you doing for meals on Shabbat? Maybe I could join, my wife and I could join a meal. So immediately he's like, yeah, come. And I was like, yeah, you don't have to ask. Like, he's a single guy, so I know he's, going to someone's house or something. So, like, you don't have to ask. He's like, no, don't worry. You could come. It's okay. It's okay. He asked, Baruch Hashem, but, like, show up to this house. Prayed in Breslov in Shari Chesed, and it's like Uman, like fire. Non Shabbat after Shvi Pesach. You expect everyone to be tired. It's just passion. Anyway, I get to this Hilagi Yid's house. He also, this is the crazy thing. I asked this guy to go to a meal, and he set me up with a person that it couldn't have been like a better experience than I expected. I show up to him, there's a guy that English background, also had a podcast, connected, knows my rabbi in Jerusalem, knows his rabbi, he's a student of his rabbi, he's connected to Rav Yitzchak Morgenstern. A whole bunch of different things that are coming together, that we have very, very similar backgrounds and current interests, going through different things. Joey Rosenfeld is extremely connected to Joey Rosenfeld. So like we're like just talking, my wife and his wife were kicking it off, and our friend, and it's like such a nice meal. It was just my wife and I, this friend that made the connection, and the kids of the family and the couple.
It's only those people were there.
Yeah, we were the only guests, wow. Kilu, and my friend that made the shidduch. So like, and we at a certain point, like it's the night before, I was up doing a tikkun, like the tikkun shvi shel Pesach. So I went to sleep at like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. It's been a whole week of Pesach. It's like Shabbat. You should get in some rest. At a certain point, the balabayit gets up, the host gets up, and he goes to the kitchen. He's like, guys, you're not gonna believe it. Like what, 3 o'clock in the morning. No one felt it. No one was tired. No one was yawning. No one says, we were just like in such deep conversation, talking about life, talking about going through different struggles, talking about connecting to the tzaddikim. I started to tell them about the Yanuka. They asked me to share some Torah. I shared from this, and then the crazy thing, like I leave his house, he starts sending messages to his rabbi, like, wow, I met this Yid from Tzfat, and like we were so connected. And he told me about the Yanuka. He starts going through YouTube on Motzei Shabbat, and for the first time ever, Yanuka pops up on YouTube for him. I talked to him about it the night before. Oh, wow. His phone was upstairs.
YouTube knew.
Yeah, right? It's like...
YouTube was listening into the conversation.
But tons of ashgachot, and it was amazing I seeked out to connect to my friend that I saw by Rav Yitzchak Morgenstern, and I just wanted to spend some time with him. He ended up saying, hey, yeah, I'm going to go to this meal. You should definitely come with. And cool. Everyone was just connected on such a deep level that it was really it was very impactful. I felt like I was sitting with my brother. My brother also has the that British accent, South African accent. So it was like it's like it was really, really trippy. So
you mean your actual brother? Or?
Yeah.
I literally did
in Miami.
I have a brother. Are you kidding? Yeah. You really have a brother? Same father, same mother?
Same mother.
Yeah. How old is he? How come you never told me about it?
1983, I don't know, we have...
He's older than you?
Yeah.
How much older?
He's born 10 years older than me.
10 years old, okay.
Kitzos, yeah, so Yerushalayim was amazing to be able to see everything and to Baruch Hashem.
By the way, I was actually very private. I don't know much about him. I just find out I have also a sister, I have another, and now I have a brother also, and I've also this.
Yeah, Baruch Hashem, we're not here to talk about ourselves too much. But
in the meantime.
Yeah, it's very, 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 very trippy stuff going on in the world as well. It's Tzfat Omer, interesting times, and just, working on midot, getting exposed to different things, going through different experiences, different nisyonot, and seeing how the midah, Rabbi Nachman says in every single day of the Sefirah, everything that happens to you, if you just look a little bit deeper, you'll see how it's connected to the midah that you're going through.
To that midah of that day.
Yeah, that day specific, and it's so true.
For people that don't know what we're talking about the counting of the Omer from now until Shavuot, the receiving of Torah, 50 days. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're counting, and every day is like a midah, a characteristic. And we're supposed to work on it, and we're saying the blessing is supposed to fix that midah, right?
Yeah, and to go into different works, different practices to try to improve that point in your life. For example, love with restrictions, or different, like, so I want to be able to give, and I want to give with an open heart, but I also need to be conscious of I can't give to everybody, and I can't just give out all my money. I have to be conscious of everything. So those balances, like the week we're in right now, Tiferet, of the balance of giving and constricting, and
Tiferet is beauty.
Splendor,
like a balance.
Yeah,
it's balance. Like
exactly.
there's a balance between gavur and chesed, like kindness and severity. And like if you get them together, it's beauty. Because if you're too much kind, and like it's not gonna end well. If you're too much
stingy and restricted, then there's nothing to see.
Good balance, and the balance brings beauty, right?
Yeah.
In everything in life.
It's amazing stuff.
Oh, and this is a mitzvah from the Doraita, from Torah.
So it's machloket.
It's machloket,
but there's those that say like this, there's those that say like that.
Because it's a blessing, which is a mitzvah, and if you missed it, like I did, because I had the twins, it's a good excuse.
Yeah.
And Pesach happening at the same time, which was crazy. So I missed out on the blessing, on the mitzvah of the blessing. But for everyone who did also miss, you can still.
Even if you miss, you can count the next. You can count the next day, and then you can continue with the blessing.
Unless you also missed that day, like I did, and then you can just mention the day without the blessing.
If you go 2 days of mentioning the day, you can still keep on counting. If you make sure to count.
No, if you didn't say the bracha 2 days in a row, like the next day also not.
Yeah, but whatever. If you hear it in shul and you say amen,
of course, yeah, you can go shul say amen, or you can just mention the day.
What
day are we today? What day are we today?
I can't say it yet because I haven't prayed it.
Oh,
so
what day was yesterday?
Yesterday was 16 days.
Today is 17th day. I can say it because I messed up anyway. Today's 7th day. It was what is the you can say.
Yesterday was Gvura Shevet Tiferet.
You cannot say today's.
It's all connected.
So today's Tiferet Shevet Tiferet.
But I don't want to say it.
You're even afraid to like nod. It's like I'm gonna miss this bracha if I nod.
I'm gonna count again. You gotta make sure you get your counting. It's a beautiful thing. It's so, and like this year with Biyam Darkecha, wow, such this book that we've been putting everything, all the guides that you see that we've been putting out into Chassids in a pod on the Instagram and on the Telegram, wherever you might see it, WhatsApp, all these different guides that we're going through, they're all taken from pretty much a series of books called Biyam Darkecha. That are all from the
your path. How do you say it?
Your path is in the sea. Yeah, it's from a pasuk in Tikkun HaKlali in Tehillim 77. But we've talked about it. But basically, this book is just like a guide for being a chassid, being a Jew, and being a conscious, connected Jew with Hashem, and improving the connection. And
I love that it's so practical. Yeah, so practical.
Extremely practical. Extremely easy to read. You have to be familiar with a few of the concepts, but even if you weren't, if you're keeping Shabbat and learning Torah, you should easily be able to get into it. It takes an extreme amount of effort to put this stuff into practice, and that's the whole ikar. Like the Ramban says, the Ramban writes in his letter to his son, like, once you learn Torah, when you get up to finish learning Torah, make sure you checked within what you just learned what you can actually apply into your life straight away, because that's the point, to live out the Torah. So Biyam Darkecha is just an amazing book in all different topics, but specifically with Pesach was amazing to go through with the charts. And
you do a beautiful job.
It's all from the book. It's all just taken
from Instagram. If you don't know what we're talking about, beautiful. Like in short, he puts what's in this book in summaries, and it's really practical and it's awesome.
It's just
a pod on Instagram. Plug.
It's a really different experience. That's what I love so much about the holidays. That every year we go through the same holidays, but we're not the same people. You shouldn't be the same person. This year you go through Pesach, when you come to the next Pesach, especially by the time you come to Shavuot, you shouldn't be the same Jew that you were. Those 50 days should have changed you. So it's a blessing.
Agrees.
Yeah, let it out. L'chaim to that. Sounds of Geula. Baruch Hashem. You want to talk about your boys in Belgium, the big bad Chassids?
These boys and the boys in Belgium. Yeah, I woke up yesterday so happy. Like the first thing I saw was like a post that someone sent me. Like you see, this is in Antwerp, the city where I grew up, where I was born, and he like. Unfortunately, this happens so often. Like again, a Jew being threatened by someone on the streets. It's like, okay, another one of those. But this time, twist, the Chassid, the Orthodox Jew, beats up the non-Jew. It was amazing to see. I felt so good because finally, like we're fighting back and also winning. Like he totally like dominated and put him on the ground. You should watch this video. It's,
you know the amazing thing?
On my Instagram, Avidan Comedy. If you want to know what I'm talking about.
The video came out during the day like during the week of Tiferet, and like Tiferet is like mercy, right? And if you watch the video, he subdues the threat. Like, he overtakes him.
He doesn't knock him out.
But he doesn't even do anything. He doesn't punch him. He didn't do anything.
Nothing.
He grabbed him. He put him on the ground.
He just holds him there.
And he just holds him there. And like, it's just like so perfect. It was like, I'm not interested in fighting you, even though you're a threat to me and you're trying to attack me. I'm not even like, I'm just overpower you and I'm going to sit here. And
it's a mamash Kiddush Hashem because
amazing.
It shows like, okay, you cannot mess with the Jews. Like we can fight back.
You even said because you understand the talk in the video, right?
Yeah, the people that were filming were Arabs, were Muslims, and they were like, "Oh, this Jew he's handling it. The Jews are handling it." Like, it was positive. You can hear in their voice, like, "Oh, they were impressed." And it's like, it's good, like.
They should know, yeah. That's how every Jew should react as well to a threat.
With the Jews.
It's enough. We're going through very hard times here in Israel as well, and from our government and from a lot of the messages that are out there is like to be quiet. Like the Israeli police didn't want to, they were lowering the level of policing during Ramadan to not cause any tension. And it's like, guys, this is the time that we always get attacked. Why would you try to appease them? Like on an account of what we are, and we had to deal with
this
it.
This is the big issue we have with our government. We're gonna get canceled after this probably, but like they're too PC and they're too politically correct and they're too trying to appease the other side, which causes us only damage, and they just don't respect us when we do that.
It costs lives, yeah. And then on the other hand, when you actually do it, when you actually stand in there properly and you stand up for yourself, then that's respected, especially by the Arab culture and the Arab nation. That's how they work.
And then one of the reasons why this happened is because the government literally gave away land, and it's known, it's in the Torah, when you give away land, they're gonna act out against us, and that's what happened.
Especially Harabait, but whatever. B'ezrat Hashem, we're hoping for better times. We're praying for better things.
Let's talk about why this might be happening. It's very short, and how we can fix it or not fix it. Work on it.
Anti-Semitism.
What we can do, people gonna feel like. People maybe feel like very like helpless.
It's one of the most amazing, like back to we said the chef of dat, right? Like the consciousness that's coming down to the world right now. It's really clear that Hashem is being more and more revealed to those that are looking for Him, right? And we're getting more tools. B'yam Darkecha in this book, it's an example. It's an amazing tool to show you how things that you go through in life, it's all gifts from Hashem. It's just how do you crack the code? How do you break out of the matrix? So what is an Arab? The Yenuka, we posted this in our to Chassid in the pod, but it was maybe in Hebrew. Mm-hmm. I wrote it in the caption there, but the Yenuka says, what is Ishmael? Ishmael is Ishmael, right? Hashem will hear. Hashem will hear.
Hashem will hear. Yeah.
Hashem will hear. Hashem heard the cry. Exactly, right? So he says, what is Ishmael? Ishmael is that Hashem will hear. So what does Hashem hear from us? Tefillot. Prayers, cries, right? Beseeching Hashem, begging Hashem, talking to Hashem, praying to Hashem, to connect to Hashem. So Hashem hears that. So why are the Muslims allowed in the land? And he brings this all from a Noam Elimelech. He says, in Israel, anything of the Emori, le'emor, to say, but it's the nation, right? So it's like a play there for the Emori. So the Yenuka took it further and says the Ishmael. So Ishmael is Ishmael. So what's Ishmael? That is all by the koach of the mouth. It's all by the power in our mouth. So when we start to pray more, then we'll bring down the power of Ishmael, because when it's all a lack of our tefillah, everything is Hashem just trying to talk to us. So what is the message if you have a nation called Ishmael coming to attack you? Hashem wants to hear the tefillot. And then he says, how do they even have power to be here? Because you can only be in Eretz Yisrael if you have Brit Milah. You can only have power in Eretz Yisrael if you have Brit Milah. And they have Brit Milah. They have Brit and we have Brit. But ours is called Brit Milah. What's Brit Milah? The extra word there is Milah. What's Milah? Tefillah. Prayer. Words. So if we tap into Brit Milah, if we tap into the Milah part of it, the speaking part of it, the word part of it,
then our circumcision will win their circumcision. You're
exactly.
basically saying.
And we'll see who's bigger, and then we'll take over the land. Take over the land. And Vizat Hashem. And I pray that their cuts are bigger, and if the cuts are bigger than by them, that's good. So Vizat Hashem. So, but no, all jokes aside, I'd love to bring that in there. But
what about the good Arabs and the good Ishmaelis? Because some people might say, but what about the good people? Not everybody is bad.
No, so we just want to take down their power. We're not trying to get rid of them. If a person,
we're just trying to subdue them. We're just trying to show them who's boss.
That's the thing. In the end of the day, it's a power of Ishmael. It's a koach of Ishmael, right? That Hashem brought into the world. It's a being beyond just the individuals on the ground. There's a being. So even the good individual on the ground, he can still be part of Ishmael. And right now, Ishmael is an enemy. So it's a collective. So on the individual, if I have an interaction with an Arab right now, do I have a problem with him? No. If I have no reason to really have a problem with him. But if I do have a problem with him, and if I know that he's supporting those that have a problem with me, and he's helping, and he's not, then there's something needs to be done with it. If you're supporting your cousin who was a murderer and tried to murder Jews, and you outright speak in support of him on a public platform, on Facebook, on the street,
what about
whatever.
The ones that are not? Because we also have Arabs on our side, but they're not Ishmaelis necessarily. Like the Druzim, they're like from.
They say from Yitro.
They say they're from Yitro, and is their leader.
They're not Ishmael.
They're not Ishmaelis.
Ishmael is Ishmael, So.
But you have the Bedouins. Are those Ishmaelis?
Yeah.
What about them? They serve the army. They
not all of them. A lot of them. The majority of them steal from the army. We saw this hands-on. Your unit is Givati. You're in the.
We were
right down there, and they raid those bases every day, and they steal weapons, and they steal.
It's true. One time I was on watch actually, and this literally
happened. They come
happened.
With tractors.
They come with the
4x4s, yeah.
And they come really close to steal, and we shoot at them. Just kidding. We shoot in the air. Worst case.
And the problem is, at the end of the day, we can't forget this is our land.
Yeah.
And that's first things first. The Jews, this is home, and the rules need to be set by our Torah.
We got no other home. This is our home.
It's by Torah.
It says in the Torah, and they believe in the Torah. By the way, they believe the Torah is true.
They call us Am HaSefer, no? The Muslims they call us Am HaSefer. Everyone in the nation, everyone in the world believes that we're the people of Hashem, except for us.
And if we own the fact that this is our land and we're proud of it, and we're not just giving away land like it's just cheap. And they will respect
Hashem,
us.
And that's Tiferet. That is Pe'er. That is Israel. That is Yaakov. That is all the idea. This is the Tiferet. What is Tiferet? Not that I'm prideful and I'm arrogant.
Yeah.
That was 73. And you saw what happened. Yom Kippur Wars. You think you're powerful. 6-day Wars, 67.
Then we get another Makkah.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't want to be that arrogant Kochi v'yotzim yadi. My power of my hand did this work. No. We want to be strong and know that we own this land because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is behind us and He's the one that told us, and we have the Torah that lays it out. And when we do that, then it's the Pe'er, the Tiferet is already to Hashem. And that's Hashem Malach Geut Lavesh. Hashem wears the garment of pride. Because the pride is His, everything is His. And that's the work of Tiferet also is Dveikut, is connection to Hashem. I can't even be jealous of a friend. I can't be prideful. Why? Because I'm connected to Hashem. I'm clinging to Hashem at all times. I feel Him with me, and I feel that I'm with Him. And if that's the case, I'm going to be jealous of someone else because they got something. Hashem gives me everything I need. I'm literally with Him right now. I can feel Him here with me right now. I can't be jealous. I can't get prideful. I can't get any of that stuff if I really have dveikut at all time, and that's the work of Tiferet. That's Israel, that's Yaakov, that's Emet, that's Rachamim. That is true mercy when you embrace what you really need to be.
I like also what Rabbi Rome said. Like Israel is not from the Jews, it's Hashem's.
It is, it's Hashem.
And Hashem gave us to sit on it. Like we can use it for now.
And we have to also keep open our eyes that there's parts that we don't have in our hands right now, we don't have access to, and that says something about what we could be doing, but we could be doing better. We have to pray a lot.
I also wanted to talk about maybe the last thing we talk about humility. You're saying humility, and I think Ahavat Israel is a big part of that, also why the nations are maybe against us, anti-Semitism,
If we hate each
not
other,
just the Ishmaelites, it's like
anti-Semitism
everywhere in the whole world.
Yeah.
And it's because it says in the Torah, like, if you don't have Avat Israel, if we're not together.
I had an amazing Torah.
Yeah.
The Rav Yitzchak's, one of Rav Yitzchak, my rabbi, one of his friends, childhood friends, is a rabbi in Kfar Saba named Rav Menachem Biton. He's also a Moroccan Hasidic guy, right? Mekubal, but also Chassidut and everything gone. He started to talk Friday night. Rav Yitzchak asked him to talk. We rarely ever have anybody speak in our show, so like even Rav Yitzchak doesn't talk like that. So it was like, wow, and he said so many amazing things. And one of the things he says